Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my presentation on International Conference on Sustainable Management and Innovation, or ICOSME 2020. So the title of my presentation is Indonesian Oil and Gas Governance for Sustainable Innovation. My name is Muhammad Firwan Aprizal, and the other author is my supervisors. Thanks to them for supervising me. And also thank you for the committee as well for this opportunity to share my research. So the first slide is showing you the introduction and objectives, started with a picture on the left, top left, which shows historical oil production and consumption. So the black line is the oil production, which started in 1965 and then reached plateau or peak production for about 20 years until 1995 before declining. The rate of decline seems severe and started in 2003. Indonesia became net oil importer as the rate of as the consumption exceed the productions. So the volume of import is bigger and bigger because production keeps declining, which indicates oil reserves cannot support the productions. So these situations triggers requirement to increase reserves through increasing investment. So the table on the right shows the rate of production decline during low oil price on the four biggest producers, which shows that increasing trend of the rate of declines. So the signing of the new contracts also showed significant decline when oil price in 2014 start to decrease until current day. Can be seen in the picture on the bottom right. And also the investment realization also shows significant decline for both exploration and exploitation investment, as you can see on the bottom left picture. So the second slide, still with the introduction objectives, shows another problem as part of introduction objectives, where there is still a misconception on cost recovery issue, where the tendency of cost recovery increase is not related with the production. That is the misconceptions. However, in reality, the graph on the left shows that the biggest component of cost recovery is the cost which is related to productions. They are costs for exploration, development, and productions. Which is in the brown and the green color, not the administration costs, the yellow color. So the implication of this misconception was the sudden changes on contract system, where in 2017, the government eliminated the cost recovery system and changed into gross split system. That sudden changes caused Indonesian fiscal attractiveness index become lower, as can be seen on the picture on the right, based on study by Wood Mackenzie. So the objective of this presentation is to identify critical issues that will positively impact sustainable oil and gas production and reserves through the good fiscal and non-fiscal governance. So regarding the methods, there are two methods to use. The first one is the systematic literature review, where the process started with the focus and unbiased research questions, then the screening process with the inclusion and exclusion process, and finally end up with the synthesizing process in a narrative manner. So this is more qualitative manner. This method is, is then combined with the second method, which is the in-depth interview, to collect primary data from a competent professionals, where the interview is conducted in a structured way with the list of the predetermined questions. So the flow diagram of the SRS started with around 200 records from the e-journal database such as Mendeley, ProQuest, Scopus, EBSCO, etc. And then screened and then assessed for eligibility until finally 16 studies included in the narrative synthesis. So regarding the result and discussions, based on SRS process, there are 4 fiscal and 5 non-fiscal government issues, as you can see on the slides. The table on the right shows sliding split illustration, where column 1 shows that to get a certain percentage of government income, the sunk cost is only 14% recovered under certain investment. The column 2 and 3 shows the trade-off between increasing sunk cost with decreasing contractor split, which shows an increasing rate of returns. The column 4 shows the highest IRR contractor, when 100% sunk costs can be recovered, even though the contractor split is the lowest. So this indicates that the benefit of the sliding split that enable 100% cost recovery as the main component to improve contractors' economy. The next slide is still with the result and discussion, which shows the synthesizing result of the fiscal governance issues, where the first issues is related with the cost recovery. So the literature content says that the non-cost recovery system do not require audit. And also there is no profit-based element for the non-cost recovery system. The cost recovery system, on the other hand, in Indonesia, still burdened with the stigma that the cost recovery are not directly related to productions. So the synthesized process come up with the recommendation to continue with cost recovery scheme because it is still the most preferable by investor and also good for the government, which has limited funding, especially for the explorations. So the second issue related with the profit split and the first trans petroleum or FTP, and then the synthesizing process come up with the recommendation that the flexible split using the R factor concept is the recommended option to improve attractiveness of the fiscal, as it takes into account dynamic conditions such as marginal reserve and windfall profit. Regarding the incentives, the synthesizing process come up with the recommendation that incentives should be related with the geological quality or reserve size, and also with windfall profit. So incentives must target implementation of exploration and EOR project realizations. The final fiscal governance issue relates with the windfall profit treatment, where the concept of sliding scale on profit split to adjust the government income can be a good option to address the windfall profit. The next discussion regarding the non-fiscal governance. The first issue relates with investment rules, certainty, and contract sanctity, where the lack of appreciation on contract sanctity will reduce investors' interest to invest in upstream oil and gas industry, which is full of risks and uncertainties. So the investor also have a small bargaining power compared to the bargaining power of the government. So the contract sanctity is really a very critical issue to create a conducive investment climate. Regarding the geological attractiveness issue, the recommendation is showing that various geological surveys followed with in-depth research are important, beside the inclusion of that geological issue into the fiscal terms, such as into a split or incentive. Regarding duration of a contract, so the recommendation is that exploration states should be expedited and also monitored tightly by the government to improve the both revenue for the government, also for the contractors. Regarding the institutional governance model, the model which is suitable for Indonesia is the one that will contribute to energizing the state government companies such as Pertamina, and also contribute to the energy security. So the final conclusion is that all governance issues such as fiscal and non-fiscal governance should improve global competitiveness, because investors mostly consider economic parameter and investment risk in various countries or regions. The top priority for the fiscal governance is the cost recovery itself, because and also it is difficult for contractors and government if the investment failures, which is part of the cost recovery, can be categorized as detrimental to state finance, because it has a legal implication. In that case, it will make government and contractor becomes difficult to improve investment by increasing cost recovery. So the R factor is a good concept to enable sliding or flexible split or sliding scale along with the FTP to accommodate dynamic situations such as reserve size and oil price fluctuations. The certainty of investment rules and contract sanctity create a safe atmosphere for the investor. So it's really a very critical condition that must be fulfilled by the government. The ideal model for Indonesia should be a combination between NOC dominated with the separation of power model to share authorities, because it's good to share authorities rather than focusing the authorities into one body. It also comply with the courts. In addition, the appropriate model should contribute to energizing state-owned company and energy security. That's all my presentation. Thank you.